say you feel the way that I feel. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Now, as promised, I am pumping out these videos and getting them to you as soon as possible because you guys asked, and I mean, when you ask nicely, you get what you want. So now today I'm going to be showing you guys how I perfect my base, basically my go-to foundation look. So stay tuned, stay tuned. Just a warning, I live in a full house, so if you hear bangs and bumps, just ignore it. Pay attention to this. Okay, are we good? Got it? Cool. So to begin with, usually what I do before I even put on any makeup is wash my face and then moisturize. I don't know, I do this weird backwards thing, but it works for my skin. I don't know about you, but anyway, the first thing I reach for is my Inglot toner. Now this one is for dry skin. I tend to use this because over some period of time I have found that it helps with my oiliness, because your girl has extremely oily skin. Now I just take that, put it on a cotton tip, and then just wipe it all over my face, you know, get rid of anything that's on my skin that might irritate it. It's really good, this stuff, because it calms the skin, cleans it up a little bit, and creates a really nice smooth clean surface for me to work with. So yeah, like I said, depending on how I'm feeling, sometimes I will wash my skin and then put a moisturizer on and then do this, or I'll do this and then do the moisturizer. I don't know guys, whatever works for you, you go for it. Next thing I do is I grab me some lip balm, and I'm using this one. And then I go ahead and grab my primer. Now this one is the Inglot mattifying primer. I usually alternate between this one and the Becca Cosmetic primer, which is for oily skin, but I can't find that one anywhere. That one is my holy grail, by the way. However, I do tend to switch between the two, so it really doesn't bother me, and I apply that everywhere because I'm telling you, if I do not use primer, by the middle of the day you could fry an egg on my forehead. The next thing I grab is my foundation. This one is Ingot foundation in the number 78. It is amazing, one of the most beautiful foundations I've tried, to be honest with you guys, especially on my skin type and my skin tone. I find that it sits very beautifully. At the moment, this is literally my holy grail. I used to use MAC, I used to use all other stuff, but when I stumbled across this, your girl's been in love ever since. And then I go ahead and use my Zoeva 123 Define Buffer Brush, and obviously go and pump some on there and pop it all over my face. Now, you don't really need a lot of this foundation, but you know what I mean, like sometimes there's some areas that just want to look extra and you gotta get rid of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that all over my face, and I usually start on the right side of my face for some weird reason. Oh girl, do you see that coverage? Do you see that? Usually I do like one layer because I know my skin is really oily, and I'd rather have the majority of what's on my face powder than foundation. I'm filming. Dad, I'm sorry, I can't film while you're standing there. That was really interesting. Do you see how much that covers everything? Like, do you see that? Literally everything is almost gone. It's just it's amazing. And that was like 2 pumps and a bit. You guys saw that. I can't lie on camera. Now usually I go ahead and do my concealer at this stage, and the concealer that I love using is usually either the LA Pro concealer in Flawn, which I will grab. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay, so I can't find Thorn, but I sometimes use Toffee as well when I can't find Thorn. I don't know where I put it, but basically that's just it. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with that if you're watching this and kind of know a little bit about makeup. It's either this one. I use the RCMA. I have 2 of these palettes. One of them I cannot find, and I use either one of these 2 colors that you can see here that are completely almost gone, or I use the Inglot Under Eye Concealer. Now I have a sample pot because your girl lost her other one and she had to go in and get a sample, but that's okay, you know, we just flow with it. Basically either 99 or I think it's 98 or 89, one of those. So today I'm gonna opt for the Inglot one just because I find that one is amazing under my eyes. I love the way it sits, I love the way it covers, and it's just beautiful. Sometimes I go in with a brush, sometimes I go in with my fingers. Today I'm feeling like using my hands, so I'm just gonna pop some on there and I'll buff it up with a brush later. I just go straight under my eye area and look at that pigment, like for real. It is amazing. Like you barely need to color correct with this foundation, with this under eye concealer. Do you see that? I'm just gonna buff it out. And I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit more and just pop that under my brow area and on top of my eyelids. Now I like to make sure that it kind of gets around the tear duct area because my eyes have a weird shape and foundation and concealer tends to kind of build up in that area. I'm gonna go in with a brush, same one, the 103 from Zoeva, and I'm just gonna lightly blend everything and make sure everything looks really nice and seamless. Just press it into my skin. Darling, you gotta press, not swipe, not buff, but press. That's the secret. Now usually I don't bother with the whole contour highlight thing. I like to just go simple and use just like a bronzing contour and a bit of a blush, and that's generally what I do. Like even if I'm having a completely dramatic look, I mean I can do the contour and highlight thing, but that's usually for like if I'm going somewhere extremely special and I want that extra, you know, that extra pop. But for a regular basis kind of thing, or if I'm going to work or something like that, depending on what I need to do on my face, I usually would go to this. This is why it's my go-to look. So at this point I'm all good with the base. Everything's looking nice, you know, it's looking fresh, it's looking even. I will go in with my powders. I use about 2 different powders. Excuse me, I'm just grabbing stuff on the side here. Just hope you don't mind. So I go in with my powder. Guess where it's from? Yes, Inglot. I love Inglot. What can I say? I love Inglot. So I go in with that powder. Just wiping my hand. I go in with this powder right here, and this one is the 103 powder, and I use that one under my eye area. And to do that, which brush shall I use? I mean, generally I use the 128 from BH Cosmetics, which is this one. It's a nice flat brush. Or I will go in with my other brush, which is right here, the 125 from BH Cosmetics. Either one works. I alternate, doesn't really matter for me. Now I like to do this face when I do that, just, and then, you know what I mean, just pop that under there and just lightly. I don't usually do the baking thing, I mean, unless I really have to. I don't usually do that. And I feel like this is baking in itself, you know, because you're pressing the powder onto the area, but you're just doing it in a small area and a small amount. And I feel like this looks so much better even off camera. On camera, it's just a beautiful technique to use. I picked this one up from King Mali Magic. You can follow her on Instagram because she's the OG when it comes to makeup. I love her. Now you gotta just press, 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 honey, press. Now I'm gonna go over my eyes as well, just because I'm not doing anything in particular to my eyes. I'm just showing you guys how I do my perfect base. Now at this point I am ready to put powder on the rest of my face and ready to do a little bit of powder contour and then some blush, which is my favorite thing. I will go in with this powder, which is a completely different shade to the 103. This one is right here, right here. And this one is slightly lighter. It's got a little bit of an olive tone, which is I'm totally fine with that. Like, I feel like it works for my skin. So this one is the 60, and it's just a general pressed powder. And I go in with a nice dense fluffy brush, and this one is the 124 from BH Cosmetics. To be honest with you guys, I will alternate. Sometimes I will use a completely different brush to this. Generally speaking, this is what I would just go to. I'm gonna go ahead and just pop that over my face. Press. Pressing is key. Pressing is what you need to do. Now sometimes I find that if I take this powder all the way up to my hairline, it can get a little bit ashy. So I like to go in with the one that's slightly darker and next to it, which is the number 62. I'll show you that one right there. And just bring that one up to my forehead area. Just like that. I like to take my powder into my hairline just so that everything looks like it is my skin. And I sometimes bring this down on my jaw as well. Now I'll let you guys have a look at that. Now I'm gonna go in and use a contour shade, and you've already seen it here. This one is the 512 shade. It looks lighter on camera, but it is actually quite dark. And I love to use this one as my contour and just to add a bit of dimension to my face. And of course I'm going to use a beautiful angled brush. Now I'm probably gonna grab the 125 from BH Cosmetics and use that one today. And with this, I literally just go to town. Like, you know, there's no specifics when it comes to this for me, just because I really just like simple, quick kind of things. So literally just gonna go ahead and chuck that onto the side of my cheeks and just blend it out. Now this is the only time you're allowed to swipe, okay? Don't be swiping the rest of your powders. Not good. Pat, pat, pat. Press. And I like to create a bit of a build-up as well. Snatched. Yes. Yes. Now I'm gonna be a little bit extra and give it to you guys. I'm gonna do the whole nose contour. Usually I don't, because I'm pretty happy with my nose. I'd rather just highlight and go out the door, but let me do a little bit of that for the YouTube. I'm gonna grab my Morphe brush. I'm not sure what number this is because it doesn't say, and your girl's a little bit behind when it comes to brushes, but this is the one, if you guys can recognize it. and I'm gonna use the same powder just in my nose area. Ooh. Okay, honey. Oh. And voila. Now I'm gonna go ahead at this point and pick my favorite, all-time favorite blush. And yes, you guessed it, it's from Inglot. What can I say? Your girl loves the products, you know, they're just amazing to me. So say what you want, do what you want. It's okay. I'm going to grab the number 41 blush right here. It is amazing. I am obsessed with this. Like when I first tried blush, it was the first shade I tried and I literally fell in love from the moment I popped it onto my face. I'm gonna go ahead and use that same brush that I use for contouring and pop this one on. I absolutely adore it because it is like a really nice kind of reddish, not like reddish, kind of brownish blush, and it's just beautiful. Oh, give me more. Yes, honey. It's beautiful. It is just beautiful. Gorgeous color. Amazing pigment. And I like to take it up to my forehead just a little bit to add a bit of color to my face. So guys, this is pretty much it. At this point, I would usually go ahead and put a fixing spray and then put on a bit of highlight and then do my brows at the same time. This is the final base. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I am so glad you came in and tuned in with me today. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and support your girl. Follow me on my social. Go ahead and like my pages, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video.